Brought to you by Express Care Health and Skin Center. Get in, get out, get better.
Hoppa and welcome back to Healthy Living. It is the start of the new year, and if you've driven around in the mornings or evenings, you've probably noticed an increase in people walking or running and going to the gym. A new year often brings a renewed commitment to eating and living healthy, but the excitement of sticking to your resolution often wanes, and 6 months in, people forget about it. Express Care's Dr. Jitka Lom joins me now with tips and advice on how to keep those healthy resolutions. Welcome back and Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, too.
So we talked a little bit about this before the holidays, and so now the holidays are over. We're into the second week of the new year, and I mean, I see a lot of people walking. I don't know if you've noticed that, but it seems like more people are eating salads, eating good. And so it always seems to start off well.
Yep.
So how do, people have made these resolutions now, how do they keep to them?
Keep to them. Well, it's hard because we're human beings and we fail. So the thing is to not set yourself up for failure. First, look ahead. Don't just look at this month, this week, but look all the way to the end of this year, to the end of December, and how do you want to be at that time, and make your goals such a long-term goal. And then you'll know that month by month you're getting closer and closer to your goal. The other thing about goals is that they should be SMART, and that's an acronym for specific, so very specific goal. I want to lose exactly 25 pounds. Measurable, you can measure that. Realistic, okay, so that's achievable for you, and that's AR, and then T, timely. There's a time component to that. Within this year, I will lose 25 pounds by exercising every morning at this time and eating these foods. So you make it really specific, and then you'll be more likely to achieve it. The other thing you need to do is recognize that you are human, and there will be times when you fail, but one-time failure doesn't mean overall failure. It's not all or nothing. So if you do an 80-20 rule, if you say like 80% of the time I'm going to do really well, and 20% of the time I might not do quite as well, but I'm still trying. So if you're on January 8th today and you've already eaten a cookie and you know you shouldn't have, it's okay. Or you've had one cigarette and you thought you had quit smoking, don't worry, just get right back on in the saddle and keep trying, because the more you try, the more you will succeed.
Or add on 10 more minutes on the
treadmill.
Add 10
minutes, yeah, that's it.
Now, how can you make a fitness goal or resolution fail-proof? And you talked a little bit about we've talked before about just being realistic. Sometimes people are like, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year, and they get to February and they've gained 10 pounds.
Yeah. Well, fail-proof, again, being very realistic and looking at things. So, for example, the weight loss thing, know how much you weigh now. That's a simple thing, but if you actually weigh yourself every day, studies show that you will actually be more likely to lose weight, rather than, I don't want to look at the scale because I don't want to know, Simple things like that. Other things as far as the exercise is trying to do it with a group or with a friend, so there's accountability, or even a personal trainer. Doing it on your own sometimes is just too difficult for people. And picking things that you actually enjoy. So it shouldn't be torture and punishment, because if we feel like we're imprisoned, we're not going to continue. So trying to choose activities that you actually like, with people that you like, foods that you actually like, will be much more likely to contribute to your success.
Now, you were talking about food, and on Guam, we all love food.
Yes.
I mean, you see the fiesta tables,
Yes.
and I'll pile that stuff on. I know I'm not supposed to, but when let's talk about food portion sizes. You don't necessarily have to give up, eating your cookies or sweets and stuff, but it's all, I guess, in the amount that you're eating.
The amount, yeah, so the portions. And there again, you can do an 80-20, or some of my patients will give themselves one cheat day when they can indulge a little bit more than other days, but overall they choose to focus on the healthier foods, and the healthy foods are the ones that are fresh, not processed, and with a heavy emphasis on vegetables.
Yeah. And then also, I've heard a lot that you're not supposed to eat late at night,
Yeah,
So
that's
what
true.
time do you recommend people?
Well, you know, depending on everybody's schedule, but if you're on a, so let's say 9 to 5 work day, and then you're going to bed by about 10 o'clock, then cutting off your food intake around 6 or 7 at the latest, so that you don't eat too much right before bed. And then taking an evening walk after your meal is really helpful. Portion size, you know, simple thing to do is use a smaller plate and maybe cut the amount of food that you were going to eat in about half. Drink a lot of water before you eat.
Okay. Another resolution to get active is to get active, and so as we mentioned, people tend to hit the gyms and things like that. How much time do you recommend everybody have some sort of physical exercise, and how often a week?
This is a great question. Actually, there are national guidelines on this that have been established through science, okay, of what are the health benefits of exercise. Then the minimum that's recommended for adults in the United States is 30 minutes per day for 5 days a week. That is just to maintain your health. That is not to lose weight or anything else. That's just to be maintaining where you're at. And as far as to lose weight, you get additional health benefits if you take that up to 1 hour per day. So 5 days a week, an hour a day, 5 hours a week. As far as for children, the national recommendation is to exercise 1 hour per day, every day for children. And I know most of our children do not get that. On Guam, we have a lot of obesity in our children. So as well as making resolutions for ourselves, let's make them for our kids.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And we will pick up our discussion on sticking with your New Year's resolutions right after this. Stay with us.